Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Three Dads and a Console. We know not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest video game news that you need to know about, so we are here to do it for you. And remember, this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. Now on with the show, I'm one of your hosts, Wobble Plays, alongside, as always, the Vegas Golden Knight Court.
Nice.
Yeah, honestly, I'll take that. They just won a Stanley Cup, so best team in. Well, they're not the best team in the NHL right now. It's definitely our Boston Bruins, but
That's right.
no.
Actually,
I guess I'm like the Pokemon trainer right now because I'm learning all about Pokemon.
You're still stuck in Johto, though. Don't even
know what that means.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Get I will ask this to both you and Kurston. And where can we watch Pokemon cartoons? What streaming service has them?
Actually, Twitch. The Pokemon channel on Twitch plays the old TV shows like from time to time. I think it's like 2 or 3 times a week for like hours.
Because she's like, she wants that now. She's like, oh, can we just watch it? She's like, is it on Netflix? I'm like, well, we're never getting that back. So
you got to go to Savers, go to the VHS section, whip up your VCR, and then you can watch them like God intended.
I also listened to that Pokemon song the other day, and that's terrible. I'm gonna say that to you right now.
Wait,
Pokemon,
the original?
Are you
theme
kidding
song?
me?
Yeah,
Bangs.
What?
Pardon? Wait, hold on.
Kirsten, this is what we deal with on a regular Wednesday basis.
Okay, but like, what's bad about it?
It doesn't make. It's like it's not even like a song.
It's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to sell me things, and it did, and I loved it.
It's from a different time, my friend.
Yeah.
It's nostalgia at its finest.
You have got to catch them all.
Transformers was like their theme song was catchy. This Pokemon one is.
It's about you teach me, I teach you. It's good values. Got to be the best like no one ever was. It teaches about being strong and having perseverance and self-actualization.
Oh my God.
I mean, they're basically a modern day Beethoven.
I could co-sign that.
Speaking of Beethoven, we're also here with Bess.
Hi. He means the dog movie franchise, not the.
Yeah, we're not talking about the artist. We're talking about the animal.
Oh, we're already off the rails. We're 3 minutes in and we're off the rails.
Yeah, it's about to happen.
I like it here.
What's the crack, lads?
And we are also joined by that fourth voice is Kurston from Social and Digital Marketing Manager from Xbox Canada. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining and enduring this intro, or if whatever you call it.
This might be one of the best intros I've ever been a part of.
Let's go!
I'm gonna
also. I noticed you pulled down on youtube.com/3dadsandaconsole and twitch.tv/3dadsandaconsole. Those posted so we could see your cool glowing PC.
Yeah, I realized that people like these things, so here are these things.
Dude, my daughter literally just before she went to bed turned my keyboard into. She put the setting on that makes it look like it's on fire, but it's blue and purple. So it looks pretty cool though. I'm gonna be honest with her. She did a great job because like she picks out my clothes off the time. Like if I'm wearing like a cool sweater that's got colors and stuff like that, and I get like a compliment about it, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely my daughter who picked it out. I'm just gonna go there.
Well, this is my cool rig.
The bug hunt.
Waba, that's for the audio listeners out there. Waba is pointing to a green screen, but behind said green screen is a messy basement.
It's inventory.
It is just piles of trash. He is. If he was a character in It's Always Sunny, he is Frank as the trash man.
That's from like a messy basement to a green screen to inventory.
it's commerce. They don't appreciate balance sheets. I sell garbage.
It's all inventory until you need to create a little path to walk through, like episode 1 of Hoarders on Netflix.
It's management.
It's so true. Like, okay, so Kurston, to give you a the 411 on Waba, like you've seen Storage Wars. That's Waba every weekend.
Yeah, except it's at Nana's house. It's at her yard sale.
Yeah, like he goes to
and I'm winning
sales of like where dead people were. And
I don't know where they are.
Yeah,
it could be anywhere.
But they could be.
Sale is.
I will say, Waba's had some great pulls. My man pulled an NCAA 14.
Yeah, but hold on. I'm gonna go back to that. Should have automatically just been Pez's, and we'll like go there on this one. And I'm gonna not let that one go.
It is.
Should have automatically been like, hey,
We had a conversation. It's coming.
Yeah,
Oh, it's yours now?
It's
we made a
going
deal.
to the
The
NCAA
rightful
collection.
owner. Yeah. All right.
It is.
okay.
I'm not keeping it, but
I
you
will,
know.
I will say this though. So I had a friend who went to a random yard sale in Toronto, like in Liberty Village, and came across a copy of Ikaruga and Iron Hander for $7 each.
Ikaruga is so good.
And it's like those are worth like hundreds of dollars now. It depends on like book and box, whatever, right? So it was very much, oh hey, there's a sign, let's go check it out. So we're on our break from school. So when I went to George Brown for a little bit, we had a 3-hour break, so we had options to explore. So we was going around the city or whatever. End up at this yard sale, see it, it's in mint condition. They're already cool, I'll just buy it. And then that was that. So he bought it knowing that I played this back in the day. This is just a cool thing, not knowing that this game is super expensive and highly sought after.
Oh my gosh, those are the best. Like I picked up that NCAA and I'm like, I know what this is. But there's one, and not to get to up talk, I went to one. I got 2 GameCubes, an Xbox 360. I got a bunch of GameCube games, including Paper Mario, like Mario Kart, Smash, like all the heavy hitters, and Xbox games, Xbox One games, and it was like $100. Like basically, I got my first GameCube plus the stack for like
Kurston, that's
60, and then I got
US.
everything
So,
else.
you know, do the math for us. It kind of still sucks, but I just saw on Facebook Marketplace around the corner from me here where I live, in a little bit north of Kurston in Ontario here. Someone is selling a Pokemon N64 for
Pikachu?
$50.
I'll be there.
You should do that. End the
Get it.
stream. Let's go.
Yeah, what are you
Go
doing
buy it
here?
right
So
now.
I wanted to ask you guys, like, is that worth money? That thing?
Yes. Okay, so there's a thing that happened. So quick side tangent on that topic. This dude had the Pikachu N64, a like boatload of games, and traded into some like random like card hobby shop.
Gosh, yeah.
And they gave him, I think, like $100, but the
Oh.
console itself is worth like $350.
Yeah.
Just the
Oh,
console.
no. Oh,
Cord,
no.
you buy that. You buy that all
Dude,
day.
some guys selling the limited edition Crystal Xbox 360 for $300 around the corner from me.
What are you doing?
Why are we still here?
I know,
I
buy
don't
it.
know, man.
Dude, I'll
I'm understanding.
I mean, buy it for me if you're not going to do it for
find
yourself.
it very where I live up here. I was able to get a lot of collectors when I first moved here. I was able to get I got a bunch of Assassin's Creed statues for like $10 each because I live in Northern Ontario, so people are just the market is so small, right, for nerd stuff. So when people are selling it, I go on Facebook Marketplace and I'm just like, I feel bad, but I'm gonna pay you what you're asking for, and I'm not gonna say any other. You're asking for that. That's not my fault because I also went to a garage sale not too
Fair.
far from here, and I was driving up the street because the liquor store is at the end of my street because that's just the way it is when you live up north. The liquor store is everywhere. But I was driving and I saw a garage sale and I pulled over and they had video games and they had stuff, and that's where I saw the PlayStation 3 for $5, and I'm like,
You got to do it.
yeah, I'm just gonna buy that. It's $5. It came with 3 games and 2 controllers. I'm like, oh.
Did it
And
come
then
with
they're
the
like,
games?
well, we have an Xbox 360 as well. I'm like, how much is that? And they're like, well, this one comes with more games, so we're asking 10. I'm like, okay, I'll buy that. No
Wow.
problem. I was just like, look, Xbox 360,
There it is.
PlayStation 3. That's how I fill my shelf. I go to people's garage sales around the corner from me, and I just
Beautiful.
snag things for nothing.
Respect it.
A lot.
So-
Nothing.
But speaking of Xbox, Kurston, could you tell us a little bit about some of what you're involved in
And
for
Minnow,
folks who might not be
because we've
familiar
had
with you?
Rice on here.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, my close personal friend, Rice Boy. Nice. Yeah, so I am the social and digital marketing manager for Xbox Canada. So anytime you see Xbox Canada on social, it's your boy. I also deal with a bunch of like digital marketing things, which is just another aspect of my job. But for the most part, on all socials, anything you see that's Xbox Canada, it's me. I got to do some really cool things. You can't see it because it's covered in Pokemon cards, but like the Xbox Zamboni somewhere back there.
Yeah, dude, that's still I'm still jealous of that.
Nice.
Life
So
size.
we did that, and we also did like my boss made the denim controller.
That
what
thing
else?
is amazing.
We had a really big presence recently at Fan Expo in Toronto, and we were doing like a whole like influencer versus fans playing like random assortment of games, which is really fun. We had it was a whole randomizer, so the fan would fight the influencer, like, oh, we'll be playing, hit the button, shuffle through like 5 games, and then play said game. Did stuff like that. And obviously, we had the Xbox Bethesda showcase and the Starfield Direct and all that stuff. So we got to make content, boots on the ground. That was a lot of fun. One thing that was really cool, so I will say Xbox, we keep things super close to the chest. when the event started, and it started with Fable, I didn't know that was a thing. So like, I was equally as shocked as everyone else. I'm just like, oh, wait, what? And
love
That's
that.
good.
yeah.
Were you like
Fable-
scrambling for the
Fable-
phone, knowing you had to post
Fable
something
is
right then?
So
Oh,
good.
I had my guy do that for me.
The
Oh,
very first event I've ever been to in person was that Xbox showcase in Toronto 2 years ago. That was like
Oh, good.
still the highlight of my podcasting, media, gaming, whatever we call this thing we do on a regular basis, daily basis thing. It's still to this day. Plus, it had the best green popcorn I've ever had in my life.
Slaps.
What?
It's wild.
Yeah. So good. So good.
Also, random popcorn fact: American Airlines Arena in Dallas apparently has the best popcorn in any sports arena.
Really?
Yeah, so I was there in July for like a Erykah Badu concert, and a bunch of people like, "Oh, like you have to have the popcorn. You have to have the popcorn. That's what everyone gets here." And then like we have it. Oh, this is like stupidly good. Like, why is it so good? I don't understand. So
Interesting.
if you're going to see a
That's-
Stars game or a Mavericks game, get the popcorn.
I got to go to Dallas soon, so maybe, yeah. I'm going to Vegas, and supposedly they have the best donuts in any NHL arena, and so I got to try that.
There you go.
Yeah.
For science.
They got the best.
100% for science.
How'd you? I'm sure a lot of people are curious, but how'd you get involved with Xbox? I feel like a lot of like gamers, like that's like probably like one of their dream opportunities.
So, fun fact, this is not my field of work. So that's a very interesting thing. So I'm coming from a video game production background. So I was a developer at Ubisoft for 5 years. I worked on my first game, Watch Dogs Legion. See the statue over here for those.
I love that game. I don't
I
care
do
what
too.
anybody else says.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first ever video game credit. I was a 3D artist on that game. My second game I worked on was Far Cry 6. People love that. Got to meet I'm going to say Gustavo, Giancarlo Esposito. Super cool dude. Shorter than I thought he was going to be. And yeah, so my background, video game production. So I also have a diverse collective called Minnow. We are a diverse D&I collective that we try to just bring authentic D&I within the video game industry. Because often or not, like people are often tokenized or romanticized and not given the proper opportunities. So I'm making sure that I'm crushing borders and giving folks opportunity to do great, because why not? Especially if like you have the same skill set as somebody else, but like because of your situation, you'll never get it. I didn't finish school, so I'm a successful college dropout, but I just made it work. So if I could find people like me who just didn't have that like I did, let's make that connection. Let's make those things happen to kind of just push things forward. So with the D&I work I was doing with Minnow and just kind of like my social presence, I'm just a dude on the internet people like to listen to from time to time. I have made relationships with Xbox, and we work
It's a
together.
very good hugger. I'm gonna say it.
Try my best. Just for you, Cord. Only for you, Cord.
No, everyone else gets a firm handshake.
Yeah, if that, or just a hey, how you doing?
That's excellent.
But yeah, so it's like so the work I'm doing at Xbox, just on the content creator influencer side for the last year, I'm like, you know what? There's a position open. Let's try for it, right? I bring a very unique skill set to the position, as I have like the video game production knowledge and the influencer / content creator knowledge of stuff like that. So I can figure out marketing on the fly, and they took a chance on me. And now 1 year later, I'm still here.
There we go. Well, we like listening to you too, so thank you very much for joining us.
No worries.
I know we have a few topics on the docket today, and the first is about gaming holiday memories. So we're getting to that time, Santa season. Well, a little bit of turkey season before then. And everybody, I feel like if you're a
We've
gamer,
already had our turkey here in Canada, so it is definitely like is
was it already
yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's in
What?
October.
Thanksgiving is
Come
in
on.
October? That's
Yeah.
spooky season.
no, it's not because we have it before Halloween.
Yeah.
When is your Halloween?
October
February.
1st. Same as yours. What do you mean? When is
What
our
is
Halloween?
happening? I've just
Well,
learned
as
this.
soon-
Wait, your
as
Thanksgiving's
soon
in
as
October?
Halloween- As soon as Halloween is done, it is literally like Tim Hortons starts doing the peppermint candy
Christmas.
cane, hot chocolates. It's holiday season.
Can I
Change it.
I put
I
up my Christmas tree the other
say
day.
something?
you
Can I
change it
say
to November?
something? You know that Waba does not read our group chat, because I will wish Court happy Thanksgiving.
Dude, he asked what the topics were when me and Pez talked about them all day today. Like,
I got a bunch of friends in Canada, so I'll be like, "Oh, happy Thanksgiving to the boys and Court," and Waba's not paying attention.
It's not my Thanksgiving. Mine's in a few weeks.
No,
Um,
no, no.
well,
It's next week,
happy,
Waba.
happy,
It's
happy
next
belated,
week, by the
Next
way.
week, not a few weeks. Yeah,
It's next
seriously.
week.
happy belated Thanksgiving to my Canadians.
you.
God.
So you're
Yeah.
welcome. All right.
Well, that's sincere.
Yeah. Don't- we'll get them next year. Anyway, let's talk about gaming holiday memories that we actually remember, not like how I remember, when holidays are. But every gamer associates holidays typically with gaming. So, what are some of your favorite memories around this time?
So off the bat, the first thing that comes to mind is it's like 97, 98, whatever it is, when the Game Boy Color came out, the Pokemon Yellow bundle that has a little Pikachu on it. So I got that. And it was a thing where my mom was like, oh, you have your PlayStation. You don't need a Game Boy. You're fine. Don't worry about it. We just bought you basketball shoes for the season. You're good. And then I had a whole like Nintendo 64 moment. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got a Game Boy. I got a Game Boy, a new Game Boy. That's all mine. I don't have to share it. And then just euphoria ensued for the next forever. And I always have a core memory of just like opening it and just kind of seeing like Pikachu's ear just by the way I cracked the wrapping paper on it, and that's gonna forever be a core memory. And doubling down on that, since today's Xbox's anniversary with the OG Xbox release, yeah, we in Canada we had, Corey, if you remember this, we had a store called CompuCenter,
Yes.
which is like I think
That was the OG video game place, that
Yeah.
in Electronics Boutique. That's all
Yes,
we
sir.
had for like the longest time.
forever.
Yeah.
So CompuCenter had this demo set up of I think it was Halo and like Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. And anytime my cousin and I would go to the mall with our families, we would just run to CompuCenter, spend the whole time there, then go home. And again, I'm like, hey mom, like, can we get an Xbox for Christmas? She's like, what is that? No, that's dumb. Like, you don't need that. It's fine. We just got you a Game Boy type of thing, right? Even though it was like years past, but like you have a Game Boy, you're fine. And then we are like finishing Christmas, opening gifts or whatever it was. And then I believe my mom's like, oh wait, I think that one's yours behind the tree. We're like, oh, there is one there. Oh shoot, let me just. My brother grabs it. We both open it. Oh, wait, what? How did you know? And she got us Halo and Munch's Odyssey, so the game that we were playing the whole time. And yeah, it was. My mom was very good at these like surprise gifts. So, and again, as a kid, I have to believe what my parents tell me. So if mom and dad say you're not getting it, okay, cool. Like, I respect you for that decision. I think it's wrong, but I respect you, right? So those are just like two like really core memories of like opening gifts on Christmas, particularly gaming related.
I love how your parents just and one more thing to you. Like
Classic parent move, by the way. Classic. I love it.
Well, I have the hardest time doing that with my daughter, especially for the gaming thing, because we're all in this lucky area where we don't really we get a lot of games. We're lucky enough that people reach out to us and they give us codes for games. So like one of the biggest games for us on this show this year is coming out on Friday, and I'm going to be buying it so my daughter can play it on that. But like that'll probably be like the first game in a long time that I buy for her. That I'm like, you know what, Bluey's coming out. I'm gonna buy it for you. Like we're gonna play this. Game's gonna be huge. Because if you've never watched Bluey, I will tell you this right now. It doesn't matter if you have kids or not. Just watch it and thank us later.
one of
It's
us.
it's the greatest show on television. But if
Well,
I went to my core memories for me as the elder statesman, um, Christmas for me was all the Nintendo. Like think about it. It's like NES came out when I was 8. Um, for me, I remember getting games like you could see the boxes, like the Super Nintendo boxes. You could tell on the Christmas tree. So then my parents used to have to like change the box because I would get EA NHL for Christmas every year. So it would come out in October, but I wouldn't be able to get it till Christmas because back in the day, games were expensive. They were like $100 Canadian. That's
Oh,
for Super Nintendo games way back in the day. And so they were at Electronics Boutique, which was across from Laura Secord in the Pickering Town Center. And then you had CompuCenter, which was all the way at the other end by Kmart. So you had to it was the two stores you could go to find out where the new video games were. And Electronics Boutique used to have this wall of games, and the Super Nintendo games would be right off. So as soon as you walked into the left, it was just a wall of Super Nintendo games. And then they'd have this like it's still to this day because growing up, you just had Sega and Super Nintendo. There was the TurboGrafx 16 and the Jaguar, but they weren't a thing until the PlayStation 1 came out and the Xbox came out. But like for the longest time, it just was NES and the Super Nintendo. And I remember my parents were catching on because I would peel the corners of the presents and I would see like you could see that, remember the Super Nintendo had that like little thing in the corner where it had the controller, the buttons, and it said Super Nintendo. So then once I see that, I'm like, oh, I'm getting a game. And I got to figure out what game. So I'd go to like, you'd like look at the box, and then I would go to Electronics Boutique with my parents and like try and figure out what was in there. I know one year I got Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. Terrible, terrible game. Stanley
What?
Cup hockey. Yeah, dude, it's so bad.
It's
Come
wonderful.
on now.
It is wonderful.
Oh,
Thank you, Kurston. Jeez.
yeah, no, it's not. I got Ghosts and Goblins on the NES one year when I was like 9 years old. That's still to this day is one of my favorite soundtracks to any video game, and one of my favorite games, and one of the hardest games that I personally can say that I have finished. I probably would get dummied now. There's no way I can finish it because I play everything on easy, but pretty much all my memories. We never got a console for Christmas, except I did get the PlayStation 1, but that was when I got older. But I never really got any. When you're young and you still believe in everything, that the magic of Christmas is real, it was always a game that I got. I never got anything except my brother one year got the Power Glove. What a downer that ended up being, but we got the Power Glove and Ridge Racer. Like, we had the whole thing, so it was a thing. But those are my memories.
So before I go into my memories, I would like to share a memory I found in my storage unit. My original working Nintendo Entertainment System,
God damn.
complete with little child crayon still on it. You can tell I haven't cleaned it. Like drew all over it.
You still have the same handwriting.
Yeah, you're right. I do. Definitely. So that kicked off, and I found a bunch of games with it. Super Mario 3, Original Ninja Turtles, Contra, Ice Hockey, the Ghostbusters game, which was the worst Nintendo game of all time, but I loved it so much because it was the Ghostbusters that I played it all
just
the
had the
time.
Ghostbusters logo going around.
It was hot. It was dreadful. Just a
so bad.
dreadful video game, and I loved it. A couple that really stand out was in 89, I think it was, or 90. I was really young. We got Super Mario Brothers 2 on the NES, which was one of my favorite games. And I was actually I played it, and I was confused because the first game I ever played was the Super Mario Brothers 2, the Japanese version. And I was wondering why the mushroom didn't come to kill me, because the first time I played it, you pop the mushroom and it kills you. And I didn't understand why it didn't look like that game. It looked so different. And then the second one was my brother and I, we shared a room up until like our 20s. And in 99, must have been, I think it was 99. Under the tree, my parents what is this in the back? And it was a box in a box.
Was it a BB gun?
In a box. It was in like 6 boxes. It was, ladies and gentlemen, the Sega Dreamcast. And we were hats to the ceiling. We were hyped. And you know what? I love the Sega Dreamcast. Underrated console. It must have been like 99, because I think we had NFL and NBA 2K, or one of those 2K games.
Is that the one with Martin St. Louis on the front, or was it Jeremy Roenick in the Flyers jersey?
I don't know. I know that it's Allen Iverson and Randy Moss on NFL and NBA, but I don't remember NHL.
Wasn't that Game Day though? Randy Moss?
No.
Okay.
Man,
those were good football games. By the way.
Game Day 98 with Jerome Bettis on the cover, by the way, one of the best football games of all time.
Oh, that one is when the Green Bay Packers were a cheat code, because as long as you use Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers, you win every game.
Yep. My man was slinging it down the field. But yeah, I mean, it was all in when there were holidays when we didn't get video games. As a true gaming nerd, I was like devastated, because that's all I wanted. I didn't care about clothes. I didn't care about like toys or anything. I just wanted games. And there were times we didn't get them, and I was like, oh man, thank you for all the stuff, but I really wanted game X. It is what it is.
It's interesting because we think about kids nowadays are just like, oh, we can get games, and like they were so expensive. Like $100 video game back then, that's like a $200 video game now. Like
Mhm.
If
when
that.
people talk about, oh, games are going up in price, I'm like, well, actually, they actually never have. They actually went down in price. Because if you did the amortization, and I'm sure Waba could probably do the math from what something was $100 in 1989 to what it is now, that's like $200. And so games cost a lot of money. So when we see all the things that we see in the gaming industry, like layoffs and so on and so forth, it has a lot to do with, believe it or not, that thing that we think that we are paying too much money for, we're actually not paying enough money
Yeah.
for. It's
And there's
kinda
more
crazy.
variety now. Like you couldn't just get an indie game for $10 and download it. Like, no, you have to buy the full retail price, realize it stinks, and you're stuck with it until.
We also did not get DLC or updates to the game. What came in the box is the game.
That's right.
I miss those days.
Seriously, the game worked out of
I
the
mean,
box. I know.
it's insane when you think about it now as parents. Like you buy your kid a Switch, let's say, because I've done this. You open it, you update it, you do like everything to get it ready so you don't have to spend your time listening to your kid like gawking and whining because the whatever PlayStation online or Xbox Live or Nintendo Switch online is just down because there's like 500,000 people just crushing these servers trying to set up all these consoles. So you take it out early and it's like, well, I don't have to buy them carts anymore because I can just download it onto this Switch and then they can load up this Switch on Christmas Day and then they're good. And before that, it was like plug it, play it. If the game stinks, you love it anyway because it's all you got.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, it was the best. Like I remember getting the Super Nintendo games with the little plastic sleeves that come on the very bottom. Like if original Nintendo games had those black sleeves that you put on.
Yep.
Like we had Bayou Billy and all that. But then like the Super Nintendo ones, you could get that plastic case. It was almost like the same case you get for your cassettes, but now it's for your Super Nintendo games.
Mhm.
So, oh man, we had
So
so many
good.
cool accessories. The accessories, man.
Oh my gosh. Like I got a lot of game stuff. Like when you say accessories, I remember getting like the weird little light dongle that like
Oh, for the Game Boy?
for the Game Boy and like the
Oh,
weird
snake
like
one?
yeah, the snake one that like you had to get in the
Yeah.
right angle and also the magnifying glass screen because you know 2-inch screen wasn't big enough. But yeah, like consoles was it. Like God, what was the first console I bought? I think the first console I ever bought myself was like a PS4. Even like going up until my folks just really like getting me the consoles. So, but I remember like, you know, N64, like dying to get upstairs and like leave my family behind. They're like, I don't want to be here anymore. But not with them. Just I want to go to my room and set this thing up. I got like Super Mario 64.
Dude.
Yeah, the Star Wars game. Like
Rogue Squadron.
Shadow of the Empire.
Oh yeah, when you had to
Yes,
take
yes,
you had to circle around the
Yeah,
AT-AT.
the
It was
first
so
level
hard, man.
Hoth was so
Yeah.
cool. And then that was like when I got the N64 and I knew what an N64 box looked like when like all the presents are there. I'm like, man, I'm getting some games. Let's go. Like getting the GameCube because I was a big Nintendo Power kid.
Baba doesn't know what it's like not to get things, eh? He just got it all.
I mean, this explains a lot about my personality, doesn't it?
Fair enough, yeah.
But like, you know, when I would get all the Nintendo Power stuff, I remember they sent out a little disc, which I still have, that you could put on it was GameCube sized, you put on your computer and it shows you Luigi's Mansion. So when I got my GameCube, I was like freaking, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the game I've been watching. But like a big one that sticks out was when Game Boy Advance came out. I had like a Game Boy Color, but like Game Boy Advance came out. That was like the big thing. And like, it was like sold out where we were, or at least like I didn't see it in any of the stores. And I opened up one of the boxes and it's Game Boy Advance, purple, in Japanese. And it
Whoa.
came with, was it the Super Mario game where you like pull the radishes out of the ground and like Peach can float?
That's Super
Yes,
Mario
that's
too.
Super Mario 2.
Yeah. So like, and that game is in Japanese for me. And apparently my mom got it like imported, which like
Dang.
that immediately was like a point in my life where I'm like, my mom's cool. Like, I feel like
guess both
I didn't
parents
give her as
were
much
cool,
credit.
yeah.
You guys are.
I'm a cool dad. You know?
But like the fact that she was able to get it. Now I don't think she ordered it directly, but she was able to get it from someone in the US who imported it. Like I was like, that's like really like. I feel like I don't know. It was one of the earliest times where I feel like I was like super aware that like my folks did something that was very challenging. That's like stuck with me because like I did not think I was gonna get that, and the fact that like she found a way was like really, really, I don't know, it was important to me. So I still have it. Like I keep all my old stuff, and I think part of that is because I know that my folks who got it for me like worked hard and made it happen. So that's
For
why I don't get
audio
rid of
listeners,
anything.
Waba isn't kidding. He keeps Not just his old. He keeps everything.
Dude, I have so like
He has his Game Gear
I have
Yeah,
my Game
from
Gear.
like
Dude,
1986.
okay, so
You
with
have
the Game
Earthbound,
Gear,
right? He has
with-
he has instruction manuals.
I have all
Kirsten.
my manuals.
He has all the boxes. He has everything.
And with the Game Gear, so I don't have the system. This one, because this came first, I had an Atari Lynx, and I still have the case that my family got for me. I use it for my Game Boy games. But it's an Atari
I didn't
Lynx.
even know anybody
case.
bought an Atari Lynx.
Wow.
That thing was expensive and pointless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In that
Right.
order.
just like me.
Right.
But yeah, I don't
Robert
know.
was that kid. He's like, I have the TurboGrafx 16. I have the Jaguar.
You
He
think
had
so,
the
but
th-
I
the
knew those
3DO.
kids. I didn't have like I didn't
Oh
have
my
like the
God, the most
Genesises. I didn't have the
console ever.
NES. I got into the game late. I was all about like Game Boy first because like I think it was more manageable. Like my family game, but like slowly but surely like then I got into PlayStation and SOCOM, and then my life was over. So
Oh,
so it goes.
SOCOM 2, what a banger.
So good. But it's about to be the ho-ho season anyway, so hopefully you can create some of those memories with your little ones as well.
A quick holiday memory. So, as I mentioned before, like my mom was really good at the one more thing. So, I tried the peeking method before, and what had happened was I botched that so bad, right? So I was peeking. I saw that there's another little rings on the Xbox 360. I'm like, oh, we got a 360. Oh, I gotta be cool about this. Like I'm like 16 years old. Like this is cool. This relax, just calm down, whatever it is, right? And then basketball practice one day, my sister borrowed my basketball bag. I had to go to her room and grab it. Go to grab my ball bag. There are 360 controllers in her closet. I'm just like, oh, we've really got it. We got a 360. This is dope. All right, keep it cool. It's like the last week of school before Christmas break. Keep it pushing ever, right? Christmas Day comes. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, we're getting the 360. It's going to be dope. I'm going to play some Need for Speed. Going to play this, that, and the third. Open all the gifts. There's no 360.
Get wrecked.
And then I'm like, oh,
Not cool.
wait, what? And then I'm like, okay, this sucks. Like, what happened? Then we go to my aunt's house for Christmas dinner. And I'm pretty bummed out. I can't lie. Like, I got some really cool things, but like, that was like up here. Because
You're like, I really want to play Call of Duty. I really want to play Call of Duty.
Call of Duty 2.
Yeah,
And,
dude. One of the best games on the 360 by far. And it was like that first game where you're like, oh my God, this is what graphics look like.
Yeah. So then we go to my aunt's house and we have dinner. We do the presents over there. My cousin opens his 360 and was like, oh, so it was for him. I guess you're my enemy now. And
Dang.
I was really upset about it. And
Because we're enemies now. We're fighting.
so I think later on in the evening, we're just playing around. My aunt's like, oh, we got you a gift, but like we didn't have time to wrap it. And it was in the bag. They open up the bag. It's the same present that was under my tree with the little ripping on it that I damaged. My mom's just like, next time be patient, okay?
Yes, let's go.
Oh,
She knew.
man.
Get wrecked.
Oh,
Yeah, like,
she
that's
got
like-
you.
IQ 9000, like holy.
I love that she punished you for it. You still got it, but
She made you
she
sweat.
made
it
you
out.
sweat.
Yeah, I fully deserve it.
That's what
I love
what
it.
happens when you snoop. But Cord, I know you mentioned Call of Duty, which I think a lot of people play on Christmas. People wait for the Christmas noobs to get the game and the level 1 guns. But Call of Duty multiplayer has been your recent fascination.
Yeah, it's
Tell us about that.
Once again, thank you to Activision for providing me a code for review. I loved I actually liked the campaign. I like I said, it was a 7 out of 10. It wasn't the best campaign, but it was great. But the multiplayer, I don't know what it is. I haven't played a Call of Duty multiplayer, and I would say years since they redid. I would say 4 years ago now. I haven't played any of them. So me hopping back in this year was new all around for everything. I'm playing Team Deathmatch. I played Rust just earlier, and I have a screenshot to prove it. I went 21-0-0-0. Like, no one killed
What?
me.
This
I am
guy.
Camper.
Hacks.
100%.
Wall
100%.
hacking?
But I am having so much fun. Like, I'm going through and my heart gets pumping again. And I love the fact that like Terminals is back, all these levels that we played back in the day on the Xbox 360, because to me, Call of Duty is the Xbox 360. That's where I first started playing it. That's just what you remember of Call of Duty. That's where everything about Call of Duty happened for me. Regardless what console it gets moved on to, I always remember it playing and I always associate it with Xbox. And conveniently now, that's They are Xbox, so it'll
Mhm.
just all work out. But I'm having way too much fun. One thing I will suggest to people is I have turned off crossplay unless I'm playing with my friends on Xbox, because the PC players, yeah, they just
Whole
click
different
and
level. Whole nother
oh,
level, those nerds.
Esports, baby.
I'm not gonna call them cheaters because I'm not there at that. I was playing a match the other day where I've clipped it where this guy, he definitely had an aimbot on. Like, there's just no way. Like, he was just destroying everybody, and he was on PC. That's fine if you want to cheat playing that game, and that's one thing I will say about this. But I also haven't found what we used to. You know, the toxicity that we used to find in the chat rooms right before. I haven't been muting just to see what it's like, and I haven't had the toxicity that I used to remember. Like, I don't have people talking the smack. Now, I'm not going to say that I miss it, but some of it used to be funny when you'd have people talking so much smack. You do get the odd, like, I do love the fact that when you kill someone and you don't have them on mute, you can hear it, like, how frustrated they are that you've just killed them. Like, I do get a kick out of that, but I am getting a kick out of the rush. And I think it's because I didn't play for the longest time. Like, I know when they brought out Modern Warfare again, that's the last time I played. And I find that I was getting Call of Duty fatigue, but now jumping back in, they pretty much have all the maps from Modern Warfare 2, and they have all these, you know, calls back into the day. They have new maps, but they have stuff coming. They do have the battle pass, which I don't mind. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I get why shooters and first person shooters have battle passes. They make sense
Mhm.
because they're giving me things, and I love seeing the little tick. Like, they do it so well, the progression system in the Call of Duties. And anytime there's a multiplayer shooter, just copy. Like, they have made the secret sauce. You don't need to do anything else. And I am finding that I don't suck. I think I do. Like, some matches I'll go out there and just get dummied. And then the next time I'll go out and I'll have like my kill death ratio of like 1.62, and I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't know. I'm having way too much fun, and I'm actually shocked. Like, I know that's a real thing because I thought I was over Call of Duty, but it has become that game that I'm pretty much only playing besides Cyberpunk right now. And I've been playing NHL, and they dropped Bobby Orr, which is amazing, and I am still playing Call of Duty.
So
That's
I
wild.
think
Also, if you're
I'm
using an Elite Series 2 controller, change the trigger sensitivity, and it's gonna be so much easier because you're just gonna be sniping because my reflexes aren't as good as they used to be, and my triggers now, it's just so much easier. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I co-sign that the Elite controller, not because I work for Xbox. And it's very
Hashtag ad.
hashtag add hashtag spawn. But yeah, so like great controller for shooters. I do enjoy the short triggers, but I am one of the few people in the world just doesn't care for COD. Like, I grew up on arena shooters, so like Quake, Unreal,
Quake is
Halo,
amazing.
obviously, and I don't like the twitchy, fast. Like, I'm gonna like kill you every single spawn. I know it's a part of like the meta for COD that people are just okay with, but I don't think that's skill involved. If I know where the spawns are
Fair
gonna be,
enough.
I'm just gonna line it up every single time, and I don't find that enjoyable. With that being said, I'm playing Modern Warfare 3 because my brother gets mad at me for not playing games with him because he just strictly COD is like his bread and butter, like it's in his veins, right? So we were playing the zombies mode last night. So I haven't played zombies since Black Ops 3, and
Good game,
they're
though.
telling me that zombies now is like the DMZ mode from the last game, and I played DMZ like once in Modern Warfare 2, so I'm super new. Like, I've again, shout out to my friends for getting me game codes. I played Modern Warfare 2 for like 3 times, DMZ mode, fun. Zombies last night, fun. I'm enjoying it, but I do think it'll probably get shelved in a couple weeks.
So which game would you shelve it for?
So I'll just beat Spider-Man. So that was one of the best things I played this year.
Bluey. He's gonna shelve it for
and-
Bluey.
Dude, I'm gonna shelve everything for Bluey.
Truthfully, I'll shelve it for the Pokemon DLC coming out next month.
Fair.
Okay, before we get on to anybody else's take on Call of Duty, which is the Pokemon game that I should get for my daughter? She loves Pokemon Snap, and that's
So
pretty much that's her jam.
Honestly and truly, you can get her started on Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu because they're reimaginings of Pokemon like Red and Blue.
What?
Yeah, so pretty much it's Pokemon Red and Blue, but the catching mechanics of Pokemon Go. And also, like, once you get to Safari Zone and Pokemon Let's Go, you can actually transfer your Pokemon from Go into the game. So that's a thing. But yeah, if you want to get her started, like, from the first generation and kind of slowly move up, I would say do that. And then they haven't remade Silver and Gold yet. Unless you have a DS, you could get, like, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But
I
would
may
say
or
if-
may not have a Super Nintendo that's about this big that has everything on it.
Oh,
I
then
may or may
perfect.
not.
Perfect. So then for the Switch, 100% Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu, and then just move on up from there. It's a great game.
I'll get Eevee. Eevee is her S tier Pokemon, so I'll get
and
Eevee.
it's 2-player.
Oh, so I can
There you
play with
go.
her.
Yeah.
There you go.
I
Dad out
That's the
here
only way to go.
catching ponitas.
Ponitas.
I am literally
Ponyta?
so the trainer box comes with like almost like a guide on how to play Pokemon and like everything. And I'm actually reading this thing because I want to be able to just like enjoy it with her, right? So it's a lot for me. And I am getting today when I was at Walmart and I'm looking at the packs, I'm just like, I actually want to buy these. This is terrible. Oh, this is terrible.
Dude, building a deck, like it's gonna, because if you were to play someone, they would come with like some stacked deck, and you would like throw down your like little Staryu and like throw like one water on the second one, and next thing you know, like your opponent's gonna be throwing down like Exodia the Forbidden One, and you're
I
gonna
don't
lose in a
even
turn.
understand what you're talking about.
Here
Okay,
comes
so-
Arceus.
Exodia is that is Exodia the
No, Exodia is
the palm
Yu-Gi-Oh.
tree?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, that's a Lowen. That's a Lowen Executor.
You
Yeah.
fell
Okay,
into
I have
Waba's
that.
trap
Noob.
card. They throws it at you.
Yeah, but you got to
No.
turn it sideways, face down.
Of course. Pokemon released a YouTube series of it's a YouTube series about the Pokemon trading card game from a person who just got into it because their dad was into it. And it is like the best entry into Pokemon cards because it gives you a very top level, excitable, fantastical version of the card game that'll get you like super interested, super excited about it, and it's also like it's really fun. And I think it's like 6 episodes, but they're all like 5 minutes each. It's really good.
Okay, that'll do. Because like
What?
reading this, I'm not gonna lie. Videos are so much easier, man.
Maybe one day we'll release the instructional that Pez and I went through at PAX East.
Oh man, I wiped the floor with Waba.
What are you talking about, dude? I won the first round.
They had Pokemon at PAX East.
So
Yeah, I
they
have a
had
pack.
so in the
Spoiler
middle.
alert, I might be coming to PAX East.
So
for
in the
World.
middle of PAX East last year, there was a big Pokemon area where they taught you how to play the actual card game, and we went because they were giving out packs as like part of like the starter pack or whatever. So we went, we got the pin,
Oh, look at Kurston.
and,
He's about to bust out some Pokemon there.
and we Waba and I battled, and he took the first round. Woo!
Dude, let's go! Dude, he's got the monsters. I love it.
Egyptian.
What are those?
Oh, these are Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh,
Just
those
because we
are
talked about
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh before.
So Waba and I battled. He took round 1, and then I took down 2 and 3.
You're dust. But
I
at the
dusted
end, they
him.
give you the pack that you play
Dusted
with,
him.
and they give you a pin of Sprigriato, which was
Yeah.
really cool.
Sprigriato?
It's like it was really cool. And Pez generously donated his pack to a friend of mine, friend of the show, Hike Shadow, who used to be like a competitive Pokemon TCG. So yeah, I don't know. It was a cool experience, and I had my GoPro on. So I think I turned it off when I was losing. Convenient. Actually, I think it turned off. I
Yeah,
think
the
my
battery died. The battery
Yeah.
definitely
Of course.
died after you got the floor wiped. After
Exactly.
he dropped his Staryu and I flipped the table and said, "This game's over."
Yeah, I was like, this game's not even fun anymore. No, it was a good time.
Court, you know who didn't like Call of Duty? Everyone in our comments.
I know.
Dude, concerts are so weird.
No,
They
you know
were
what? I don't
so
think
mad that you enjoyed. You know what bothered me the most? That they pulled a me and they were upset at your happiness. Like how
Dude,
I am
and then there was
online.
the one person that came
was,
in that was like nice about it. He was like, "Hey, we really like the edit. We really like this." He's like, "I disagree with you totally about the campaign, but I totally get that you like it, and I can't be mad at you for it." But like, there were people in our comments
It was great.
in our YouTube,
Oh,
dude. They were fired. Like they
So
were putting in essays of like why. Oh, one person was like, "You played it on Recruit. How dare you?" And I'm just like,
some guy was like, how much did Activision pay you or something like that? It was we
I wish.
ladies and
That's what I
gentlemen,
said.
we made it. We got IGN'd and we made it.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody wants to pay me, I'll review whatever you want. What score do you want? We don't do scores here. I'll give it a 10 though, whatever.
Oh God.
Hey man, I am an active sellout. I will play and review anything. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm right there. Well, actually, I won't go there. I have decided. So as of this year, I tried to try new games. Final Fantasy 16. I am not that type of RPG player, and I am still not that type of RPG player. And also, I would say, any Pez, what are those type of games that I really hate?
Turn-based RPGs,
No,
JRPGs.
no, I like RPGs. The ones
Turn-based
that are like
JRPGs.
you like die real quick and you got to keep starting over and over and over.
Oh,
Oh,
again.
like a
roguelike?
like a
Roguelike,
Souls like,
roguelike.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Souls and Rogues. I'm out. I'm out. Like when Far Cry, which I loved, decided that every single DLC for the game was roguelike, I was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Like, this makes no sense. Like, please stop doing this. Give me some more story. So those type of games, even if they're saying here, we'll give you the code, we'll do everything, I'd be like, yeah, no. Like, friend of the show, Wout, he'll email us about these games. I'm like, yeah, I am not that guy. Like, I'm not playing those games, man.
I'm right there with you.
Quote
I
Siphons
do
is
not
trash.
like-
Quote Siphons is trash onto me. He's like, you'll like this, right? I'm like, yeah, of course I will.
So like when Minnow's getting codes, whatever it is, we kind of had to divvy up like who's gonna get what based on like preferences or whatever. So my ongoing joke is that any game that I don't like, I just say I don't play bad games. So,
Jeez.
You turn into me.
so like when I get like a Souls type or like when Liza P came out, I'm like, yeah, I don't play bad games. I want to play this. Someone else take it. And like it's just because I don't like games that are just habitually hard for no reason.
Thank
And I'm
you.
just like, I want to have fun. Like, we work full-time jobs. We're all adults. I don't have that much time at the end of my day to like do things for the most part. And I want to take those like 4 hours or so that I have at my leisure time to have fun and do something enjoyable. Not like punch a hole through my TV. Like, I don't want to do that. That's not a nice thing to do. It's expensive.
And that's
That's
why I
fair.
didn't mind the Call of Duty campaign. I was like, okay, it was everybody else was like complaining that it's 4 hours. And I'm like, yeah, but it like told a story and it was 4 hours. Like, yeah, it had some weird levels. Like, it's not like I said, it's not a 10 out of 10, but like my whole thing is maybe I was going into it and IGN gave it a 4. And the amount of games that I have played this year that are straight up broken that we're loving. Like, one of the games I love is Jedi. It was amazing. That game was a little bit broken. Yeah. I love the
I
game.
love it.
A little bit broken though. And we're giving Call of Duty a 4 out of 10. And I'm just like, I'm playing it. I'm like, where's the 4? Because maybe it's the length that I've played video games in my life. There are games where I play that you can't even play them. Like, they're broken. Like Cyberpunk, now that I'm playing it now. When that released, that game was broken.
Completely.
Assassin's Creed Unity, broken. It just
Busted.
like busted. So giving a game at a 4 out of 10, maybe to me, I honestly, and I put this in my review, and hey, Kurston, people got mad at this comment. I was like, maybe you're just mad because Xbox owns them now.
Probably.
Let's go.
Got
And
him.
I truly think that
That's a real thing, though.
it's 100% a real thing, because Call of Duty year after year pretty much puts out the same thing. There was a year where they didn't even give us a campaign. What was that? Black Ops 2? Or Black Ops, which one was it? One of the years they didn't even give us a campaign. It was just a multiplayer and all together. That still was getting decent reviews, but no one ever gave it a 4. Like, this is the lowest rated Call of Duty ever. And everybody's like, well, it's just a glorified DLC. Every single Call of Duty sports
It's
game
bad.
is a glorified DLC. That's the weirdest comment I've ever heard. But as Waba said, these people are also the people that go out and buy it year after year
Yeah.
after year, but they buy it to hate it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Do you, but I guarantee that the same people in the console war garbage that I can't stand. But let's be honest here, if you're the console manufacturers, you love it because these people that love just this little box, it is what it is. They're the one buying everything. But like, I play on everything. I've got an Xbox Series X right there. I've got a PlayStation here. I don't care. I play where the game is fun. Like, if the
I
game's
love
on
these
Game
people,
Pass,
though.
I'm gonna play it there. If it's on PlayStation, I'll play. Like, it's just that's how I play games. I
It's
don't know.
great though, because like we don't well, sometimes we do, but like we don't often clickbait, and we did it in this review. And these dorks just boosted our engagement, and now we're getting all these views from people who are actually looking for it. They're just not
I
commenting
just gave
nonsense.
my honest
Like,
opinion,
shout
though.
out to them.
Doesn't suck. It doesn't.
So here's the thing, and like this is like no shade to IGN or Kotaku, whatever it is. I stopped caring for written reviews from public sites like that after the Order 1882 because they
1886.
86 start. Thank you.
I love that game.
Because they ripped that game to shreds, and though yes, it was a very short game, like a 3-hour game, but of that year, that was the most innovative, that was graphically the most advanced, and that just was one of the better games to come out in the year. But because it was short and sweet and it was too expensive for the content that you're getting, I'm like, okay, but did you go and play the game yourself, or because like IGN or Kotaku said, oh, this game's trash, don't play it, you're not playing it, right?
I loved it.
And I really want to tell people, if you want to play a game, go play it. Like, make your own opinion of it. Like, people are going to have, like, I don't like Soulsborne games. So any Dark Souls game that comes out, I want to give it like a negative 16 out of 10, right? Because that's just standard.
Right there with you. I just don't play it.
But I don't play it. I don't like it. But like, some people could love that, right? So their opinion as an opinionated piece versus like your flavor of games that you like are going to be polar opposite. So go out there and play it for yourself.
Soulsbornes are too easy. Those games are too easy, so I don't play them.
I'm right there with you, Kurston, because I find it so interesting, the whole toxicity of reviews and this and that. It's just like, I like a certain type of game. So if you like the same type of games, to be like a listener of the show, Robbie Bobby Miller, him and I like a lot of the same games. Pez and I actually like a lot of the same games most of the time, besides the indies. But we do, like, if I like a game, like the Division 2, I was like, I really like it. And then Pez jumped in and it was just like, we know, or when Pez finds a looter shooter that he likes, I'm like, well, I know I'm gonna like this game, so I'm gonna jump in, because you always know those people that play certain, everybody has their opinion on games. But I'm right there with you on Order 1886. I was so mad because that ends on a cliffhanger. And I was like, I really like this game. And we didn't get any more of that because of how much the reviews hit it. Like, another perfect example is a game that Waba loves, Days Gone.
Love it.
It got destroyed in reviews, but people after a while who ended up playing it because it came free to PlayStation Plus, everybody loved it.
That's right, you cowards.
So my best friend just played that game over the summer for the first time ever, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to play this game," but people saying it's bad, yada yada yada. He has not stopped talking about that game and recommending it to other people ever since he beat it. So case in point.
It's frustrating because people always say this and that. I'm like, you know what? Try the game. At least wait for it. Like, if you were excited for a game, at least wait for it to go on sale. That's one good thing about Xbox. 9 times out of 10, the game's going to come to Game Pass. So if you didn't try it for the very first time, you could play it then. A perfect example was me is Control. I didn't play it when Remedy first put it out. And when I got my Xbox Series X, it was the very first game I played because it was on Game Pass. And it's one of my favorite games now. Like, I love that game. I love it so much that the very first time I was watching Kurston do streaming, he was playing it and I was giving him tips and tricks. And I was literally watching him as he finished that game. I was like, and he's like getting murdered. I'm like, dude, press pause, go into the settings and turn it so you can't die, dude. Just play the game so you can't die.
Game changer.
And that's how I do that. Kurston like games the same way as me. He's like, oh, dude, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, yeah, just play the game for the story, because the story is phenomenal. But that's another game where it got a little bit of good reviews, but it got lost in the shuffle. And it's such a good game.
So I know we talked about people getting bent over games they haven't played. So I want to cover quickly the Game Awards, Game of the Year. People hate using that word, and we're going to play a game called Pick It and Stick It. So I haven't played any of the Game of the Year ones. I'm assuming you all have. So can you all pick your game? Yeah, you played Spider-Man 2.
Yes, that is definitely my Game of the Year.
What would you guys say is Game of the Year? The choices, the nominees are Alan Wake 2, which just came out, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm letting our guest go first. Go ahead, Kurston.
Okay, so I have Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
He brought a prop, the Gallagher of content.
I also have Tears of the Kingdom, which is over there, factory sealed. I haven't played either of them. But,
Let's go. Hey, support the games you like. You don't have to play it. Just
eventually I'll play them. With that being said, I am planning to get Alan Wake 2 over the weekend. I really enjoyed the first Alan Wake. I'm actually playing it on my ROG Ally, which is a dope device. If you can, it's worth it. I think it's better than the Steam Deck, but that's just my personal opinion. But either way, Spider-Man 2 is fantastic, and it's somehow better than Miles Morales and the OG Spider-Man, which is insane to think about
So
because of how
true.
good it is. I know I don't want to put spoilers into it, but story is super compelling, and it just goes places that you don't think it's going to go. The gameplay and the combat is just like incredibly tight and like well curated, and you get this level of immersion where it's like, all right, I need to go to bed, but also I can still play for 4 hours, right? And that's how you know a game's really good. So to me, I think Spider-Man 2 will be game of the year, but out of respect for Baldur's Gate 3, I haven't played it yet, but people are giving it this like the utmost respect across the board. People who haven't played the first 2 games in this series have jumped in and said, yo, this is game of the year, hands down. But I will say, Resident Evil 4 has no business in the category.
Yes.
Agreed.
Came out a million years ago.
Yeah, I don't. That sure, it's a new remaster, remake, whatever it is, but been there, done that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because that's like if they're putting this. So I was very frustrated seeing that because like I'm like when The Last of Us 1 came back out, I'm like, no, you can't nominate it, but like it's still one of the best games of all time. So it's very frustrating, and I think Spider-Man 2 is mine, but I'm looking at the nominations and everything that was picked this year, and I'm just so confused about the Game Awards.
I will say this in regards to remakes. If we were to put out Citizens Kane in 4K, 60 frames, super colored, widescreen, 60 millimeter, would that be nominated for an Oscar every year?
Not enough
Good
action.
point.
It wouldn't, right? So why are we putting remasters and remakes of games into that category? I wholeheartedly believe the Game Awards is a sham. It's I don't think that's I know I personally think about this, but
I love this guy.
This guy's amazing. This is a great opinion.
I'm a straight shooter, and again, like being a part of the industry on both sides, I guess I have feelings about it. But some of these nominations for some of these games in these categories is just I don't know what they're doing there, or popularity contests and stuff like that. But my main point is that I don't think remakes and remasters have a place in a game of the year if we've played it already, especially Resident Evil 4. That's like in Skyrim category, in Skyrim territory.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
Like honestly, as someone that's playing the Phantom Liberty right now, you might as well like the way they're doing the categories this year. The Phantom Liberty is amazing.
It's the best ongoing game in the category, even though it's only an expansion.
Ongoing game. That is just another thing. Hey, you might as well give Bungie the community award again. But
yeah, while we're at it.
Ooh.
Pez, take us through yours.
Gentlemen, let me talk to you about a true indie studio, not Dave the Diver, Nexus, whatever we're talking about. A little studio called Larian Studios.
Which is indie, yeah.
Game of the year to me is Baldur's Gate 3. I've played Legend of Zelda, played Super Mario Brothers Wonder, both fantastic games. Super Mario Wonder blew away my expectations and is my favorite Nintendo game of the year. Which I never thought I would say, considering I love Legend of Zelda. In 2 weeks, I'm getting a Zelda tattoo. Like Zelda is my jam. And Super Mario Brothers Wonder blew it out of the water to me. But Baldur's Gate 3 was such an experience because not only the way they brought in D&D rules, because I am a D&D nerd, which is everyone knows if you listen to the podcast. Not only did they incorporate that really well, characters are written really, really well. The interactions, not only between your main character and your companions, but also your companions and their stories are super compelling. They're super deep. They're really rich. There are so many paths you can take in this game that I am probably 200 or so hours in, and I'm still finding new things. So like in Act 1, there is a druid grove that you come into. You can choose to raid the grove. You can choose to save it. You can choose to do nothing. You can choose all of these things, and that branches your whole story throughout the game. And you can do good playthroughs, evil playthroughs, and again, you have a party of 4. It's you and 3 companions. They throw, 6, 7 companions at you, so you're always switching. You can always switch out if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. There are choices where your companions can die and never come back. So you can lose a key character in Act 2 and never know what happens with their story until you play again. There's multiple branching paths into Act 2. So there's like 3 different ways you can get into Act 2 through multiple lands. It's just a huge game that is that was put together incredibly well. And as someone who came from early access, so I bought it probably 2 years ago in early access, they completely flipped the script and changed a bunch of stuff in Act 1 that I played that's not in the game anymore. So Larian was just like, yep, it doesn't work, change it. They changed some stories around, they changed some mechanics around, and it's a very good game. And the character creation is so good that you have people just making characters and getting like into Act 1, and then they stop and make a new character because it's just, the classes are great, the races are great. It's all very D&D, very, very D&D specific. And it's gotten some of my friends into playing tabletop Dungeons and Dragons, which is fun. So I loved it.
And the trailer is dropping at the Game Awards, and it's coming to Xbox in December. That got announced today.
And listen, if Larian, if you're listening, and I know you're not,
you are
that day.
They for sure are.
Once you drop the Xbox trailer, give me parents at Christmas time. Oh, there's a gift behind the tree, and it is cross-play for consoles and PC, so I can play with my friends, and we can just go bananas. That's all I want.
I love it.
Bananas, BAN.
I love how, oh, you said, so I didn't play any of the game of the year. Tough. But Kurston, I like what you said about like, you think the awards are kind of like silly. Like, I think they're trying to be the Oscars like for gaming, and they're not. Just one quick example of me disagreeing with it. Forget about the indie thing. Best family game and outright's not in there, but instead they put Party Animals, which I think is too complicated for kids. Pikmin 4, which is too complicated for kids. Mario Brothers Wonders, frankly, I think that's too complicated for younger kids. It's like
it's
my daughter. It's just saying in general, like
that can definitely be in there.
Yeah, like there's no reason, and I know we're biased, but like there's no reason that like these companies, maybe like Disney Illusion Island's geared towards like they say family,
Disney
like
the Island is way too hard. That is not a kid's game.
But I'm saying the property is. But I agree with you where like it's too like I feel like I don't know. I'm very curious.
You know what it is? It's because 20 something to 35 something are the ones that are voting on these games, and so like I messaged someone who does get to vote on them, and I'm like, tell me what a kid's game is, and then they came back to me with like, well, these are like, they're not though. Like these are not family games. Like I'll give you a perfect example of one of the biggest games that I played with my family more than any other game this year, and that's Just Dance.
I'm shocked that's not on here.
So Just Dance, my daughter, that has become one of her favorite games. Every single family fun night, she's like, can we play that for a little bit? Because one, it's updated with new music on a weekly basis. You can go in there because of the Just Dance Plus, which is honestly, it's worth it for me. But games like that, those are family fun. As someone that has a family, the Mario games, they're definitely family fun. You could play them 4 players, but I agree with you because Party Animals, I tried playing with my daughter. I think the game is hilarious and fun. Like on Extra Life, Team Xbox and Minnow, you guys were playing it, and I was having a ball watching you guys play. So I played it with a couple people, and I thought that was great. But I don't want my daughter playing that game.
It's also it's violent too. Like you know, it's just seeing that is curious. So I'm not discrediting everything because one thing I do like about it is how it highlights. Well, highlights, you know, maybe games that people aren't always aware of. I know, you know, Sea of Stars. Oh yeah, well, Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars loved it, and it's there. But I want to talk about one category this year that I feel very strongly about, and it's a game I feel very strongly about, and it's games with impact. And every game in there, is like really like telling its own story. And frankly, the one that I feel very strongly about is A Space for the Unbound. And this is my plea to have you all vote for it. It is my 100% game of the year. We're going to be talking more about like our game of the year in later episodes, so get used to it. It made me feel feelings. Wow, I think it's great.
I love it. I love this Waba. He's
you
just
have
going
to.
for it.
I feel so passionate about this. Like I tweeted, like the studio. First off, we got to meet people who like work for the studio for Toad and Course. They're excellent. We got to meet them at PAX East. They like interact on Twitter. The heads of these studios, the people who write, the people who like work there, they all got so hype. I almost dropped the gaming word. Like I could not believe it. They were all stunned because this is an Indonesian company, and now all these Southeast Asia groups are like companies are so stoked. They're all voting for them. And it's cool to kind of see this like community that people like, what do you think about when you think video games? Okay, well, we got, you know, some folks in Europe, we got the US, we got Japan. Like Southeast Asia is killing it. And like, it's so cool to see like all these fans and like rally around them. And I really hope they win because I think everyone should play this game. It's so good. It's so powerful. And like when I saw them get first off, when I saw Game of the Year come out and they weren't there, I was bummed. Okay, guess what? I might have overreacted there. Then I saw the names on there. Fine, whatever. I don't care. But then when I saw that, I was like, that's perfect because that's what I think about this game. And I've really, there are games where I get like super like passionate about it, like anything Persona, get ready, Bluey, get ready. But like when this got nominated, I'm like, okay, I might think some of the categories are silly. But one of my favorite games now of this year, and in a good long while, have a chance to be recognized and get in front of people that might not, ordinarily see it. And maybe even if one person chooses to pick it up and they're like, wow, like this is a thing, like that's a win. So again, this is my call to action. When you vote for Game of the Year or for your game awards, go vote for a Space for the Inbound, for Games for Impact. Do it for me. Do it for, well, I was going to say America. They're not American.
Do it for Southeast Asia.
do it for Southeast Asian games. Getting awesome representation because they are the studios are great and they put out bangers. I love everything that those publishing groups make, and yeah, they're super involved too with their community, which is like really important. So, bam, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That was a lot.
Because like it sucks to say, if 'cause I've heard really good things about this game. If that game had anyone in America say this is a good game, it would have been the next Celeste.
Good point.
Love it.
It sucks to say that, but like it's what it is, unfortunately. Because for gaming and these awards, whatever it is, like it just takes one American outlet to be like, this game's fantastic, and everyone will flood to it.
Mm-hmm. That's why you can see how good it is at 3dads.
The fact that only like what 3 Canadian outlets even got to vote on it.
That's
not even talk about Canadian.
Jeff Keighley is Canadian.
That's a Markham boy. That is
not
a
anymore.
Markham
not anymore.
Boy.
Take him out.
He treats Canada like it's like dirt on his shoe. He treats Canada like it's dirt on his shoe. Like he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. He's not like Ryan Reynolds, who's like, always wearing Captain Canada underneath his whatever he's wearing. He's always preaching Canada, Canada, Canada. I am still in shock to this day how much the Canadian games media gets treated like garbage on the bottom of people's shoes.
Listen, man, like Jeff Keighley is a kid who got D1 right out of high school and never looked back.
Yeah.
Yeah. My man left his A at the door.
He's not no NHL player that like still like cares about his hometown and like, thanks his mom all the time when he's doing interviews. He's like, no, he's a professional baseball player and he's going to be like sticking his nose up and not caring.
Yeah.
But the court just expelled him from at least Ontario.
We got spicy today.
Yeah.
We are the Game Day 98 Green Bay Packers, and we are marching down this field, boys. This is the best. This is the spiciest podcast we've had, and I'm here for it. 1,000%.
Yo, send that fool to go marinate in Quebec. Bye. That's all we got for today. Thank you folks very much for joining. Kurston, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun.
No, thanks for having me. This is a really fun opportunity. I like talking games and talking to community people, and y'all some handsome individuals.
Thank
you.
Well, guess what? I'm a winner, baby. So
Hey,
nothing like a Massachusetts lottery Keno T-shirt to class this joint up.
Yeah, put it all in red. But if folks want Kurston, when you're not hanging out with us, where can folks find you for more of what you're doing?
Yeah, so
because I started to think, and I'm like, there are multiple outlets. So I was gonna say like streaming.
What
no, there's more than
transition. Tell us what you.
Kurston is a man of many hats. He is.
I was trying to think of one word, and it didn't work, and my brain is small.
I saw your brain going like 90 miles an hour. But yeah, so I stream on the Xbox Canada channel every Wednesday and Friday for the most part. So it's twitch.tv/Xbox Canada. You can find me on Twitter or X or whatever the hell we're calling it today @_K Von Doom. I post very stupid things on Instagram. So if you want some hot takes or just very questionable videos, @K Von Doom on Instagram. It's mainly just things to make you laugh in the morning. It's my thing. And I got a TikTok where I'm just exploiting my dog to get me money. So,
good answer. Love it.
As one does.
Waba is all about exploiting people.
No, but don't say it like that. I respect the hustle. I'm not trying to like.
Oh man, hey man. That's law now.
Just go to court. You can go to Quebec too. Folks, if you had fun here, make sure to follow us at youtube.com/3dads@a-console. You can also check out our website at 3dadsconsole.com. And we are now streaming live on Twitch on Wednesday, multi-stream. So if you prefer Twitch and ads, you can go to YouTube or twitch.tv/3dads@a-console.
Prefer Twitch with ads.
No ads. We're not affiliate. No ads.
Oh, we're not affiliated. Guess what? We don't get any
There
of
you
that.
go. Ad free, baby.
That's right. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate everyone for coming, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.